There's something you've been struggling with, something you don't talk about, but it haunts you every single day. You fell for someone, you got attached, and now, no matter how much you pray, no matter how many du'as you make, the feelings won't leave. You beg Allah, Ya Allah, take this love away from me. I don't want to feel this anymore. But it stays. Why? Why is Allah keeping these emotions inside you? Is it a test, a punishment, or is there something deeper, something you haven't realized yet? What if I told you that your unanswered dua is actually an answer? What if I told you that your pain is holding a message, one that could completely change your life if you understood it? Today, we're diving deep into 5 hidden lessons that Allah is teaching you through this struggle. Lessons that most people never realize. And because of that, they stay trapped in their emotions. But by the end of this video, you will see your pain in a way you never have before. And when you do, your heart will finally start to heal. So if you've been fighting a silent battle with your emotions, this video is for you. Stay till the end, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see love, attachment, and your connection with Allah forever. Lesson 1. The unfinished chapter, when a soul recognizes another. Have you ever met someone who felt familiar, as if your souls had met before? This is because before we came into this world, our souls existed in the realm of Alam al-Arwah, the world of souls. Some souls formed connections even before their earthly existence. This is why, when we meet certain people, the attachment feels instant and unshakable. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu explained this concept by saying, "Souls are like conscripted soldiers. Those who recognized one another before will be inclined towards each other in this world." Sahih al-Bukhari. But just because a soul connection feels deep doesn't mean it's meant to last. Allah sometimes lets 2 souls meet, only to test how we handle separation. Perhaps this person entered your life to teach you something, not to stay. And that realization alone can help you break free from painful attachments. Lesson 2. You were sent to heal, not to possess. There are moments in life when we meet someone who is hurting, someone carrying wounds from their past, struggling with pain they don't even know how to express. And for some reason, your heart feels drawn to them. You feel like you understand their sadness, like you were meant to be there for them. You listen to their worries, you give them advice, you try to bring them peace. Every time they feel lost, you remind them to turn back to Allah. And deep down, you hope that one day, your presence will heal them completely. That if you love them enough, if you stay patient enough, they will finally see your worth and appreciate you the way you deserve. But here's the reality. You were never sent to fix them. That was never your role. When Allah brings a broken person into your life, sometimes it's not about building a future with them. It's about being a part of their journey for a short time, offering them what they need in that moment, and then letting them go. Think of the story of Musa. Upon him be peace and Khidr. Musa was full of questions, searching for wisdom, eager to understand why Khidr was doing things that didn't make sense. He wanted to stay, to learn more, to understand the deeper meanings. But Khidr knew that their time together had limits. He knew that he wasn't meant to stay in Musa's life forever. This is how many people enter our lives. They come to us when they are lost, when they need support, when they need someone to remind them of Allah, and we become attached, thinking that this connection must mean something deep, something permanent. But in reality, they were never meant to be ours. Allah doesn't send people into our lives just so we can claim them. Sometimes He sends them as a test. Will we attach ourselves so tightly that we lose sight of our own journey? Or will we recognize that our role was only temporary? It's painful when you invest your heart into someone only to realize that you were just a chapter in their story, not the whole book. But that's where trust in Allah comes in. If they were truly meant for you, Allah would have written your paths together. If they were only meant to pass through your life, then holding on will only bring you pain. When you try to save someone who isn't yours to save, you end up losing yourself. You drain your energy. You keep hoping they'll change. You keep giving more of yourself, only to realize that they were never looking for a savior. They were just searching for a way forward, and you were the person Allah placed in their path to help them take that step. But once their lesson is learned, once their wounds start to heal, they may walk away. Not because you weren't enough, but because your role in their life was complete. The truth is, some people come into our lives to receive, not to give, and that's okay. Not everyone you help is meant to stay. When you realize this, your heart becomes free. You stop asking, why did they leave? Why didn't they stay? And you start asking, what was Allah teaching me through this? Maybe Allah sent them into your life not just for their healing, but for yours. Maybe He wanted you to learn that love is not about possession, but about purpose. Maybe He wanted you to see that your worth is not measured by whether someone stays, but by how sincerely you gave without expecting anything in return. Let go of the idea that you were supposed to be their savior. That's Allah's role, not yours. Trust that if someone is truly meant for you, they will not just need you, they will choose you with their heart, their actions, and their presence. And if they walk away, then know this: you were never losing them. You were gaining yourself back. Lesson 3. You are in love with the idea of them, not who they truly are. There are times when you meet someone and feel an instant connection, like they are the missing piece in your life. You start imagining a future with them, picturing what it would be like if things worked out perfectly. Every conversation, every small gesture, every moment with them feels special. You convince yourself that this person is different, that they are meant for you. But are you truly in love with them, or are you in love with the idea of them? It's easy to create a version of someone in our minds, a version that is perfect, understanding, and exactly what we need. We focus on their best moments, their potential, their kind words. We ignore the red flags, the inconsistencies, the times when they disappoint us. We tell ourselves that if they changed just a little, if they put in more effort, if circumstances were different, they would become everything we ever wanted. But the truth is, this version of them only exists in your imagination. Many people fall into this illusion, thinking they are deeply in love, when in reality, they are in love with a fantasy. They are in love with what could be, not what actually is. Look back at your thoughts about this person. Do you spend more time imagining how they could be, rather than accepting them as they are? Do you justify their mistakes, telling yourself they'll change one day? Do you hold on to the belief that if you just love them more, if you are more patient, they will finally become the person you need? This is not love. This is attachment to an illusion. One of the greatest tricks of the nafs, self, is making us believe that someone is our perfect match, even when all signs say otherwise. Shaitan whispers, maybe they just need more time. Maybe they don't realize how much you love them. Maybe if you wait long enough, Allah will make them yours. But real love doesn't work like that. Real love is not something you have to force or convince someone to give. If a person is truly meant for you, they will choose you, fully, completely, without hesitation. Think about it. Do they bring you closer to Allah, or do they distract you from Him? Do they make you feel safe, valued, and at peace? Or do they keep you in a constant state of waiting, questioning, and hoping they will one day become the person you wish they were? One of the greatest pains in life is realizing that someone you loved was never who you thought they were. You look back and realize that you weren't in love with them. You were in love with a version of them that only existed in your mind. The real person never met those expectations. This is why Islam teaches us to be mindful of who we give our hearts to. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "A person is upon the religion of their close companion, so let each of you look at whom you befriend." Tirmidhi. This applies not just to friendships, but to love. If someone is pulling you away from Allah, if they make you question your worth, if they keep you stuck in a cycle of pain and uncertainty, then this is not the person Allah has written for you. You deserve a love that is real, not one that only exists in your imagination. You deserve someone who sees you, chooses you, and values you, not someone you have to beg for love, attention, or respect. So how do you free yourself from the illusion? The first step is to see them for who they really are, not who you wish they were. Write down their actions, not just their words. Look at the patterns of how they treat you, how they respond to your needs, how they make you feel, not just during the good moments, but during the difficult ones. The second step is to ask yourself, if I met this person for the first time today, knowing everything I know now, would I still want them? Most of the time the answer is no. The final step is to surrender your heart to Allah. Instead of asking, "Ya Allah, make them mine," start asking, "Ya Allah, if this person is not written for me, then remove them from my heart and replace them with something better." Allah does not take something away without giving you something greater in return. If He is removing the illusion, it is because He is preparing you for a love that is real. And when that real love comes, you will look back and realize that the person you thought was meant for you was never meant for you at all. Lesson 4. The test of unfinished du'as. There are few things in life more painful than making du'a with all your heart, crying, pleading, begging Allah to take away your feelings for someone, only to find that nothing changes. The emotions remain. The longing is still there. You wake up every morning hoping that maybe today will be different, that maybe today Allah will finally remove these feelings from your heart. But He doesn't. And you start wondering, why? Why is Allah not answering me? It's one thing to deal with pain. It's another thing to make du'a for relief and feel like you're being ignored. But here's the thing, Allah never ignores a du'a. Every single call to Him is heard. Every whisper in sujood, every silent plea in the middle of the night, every tear shed in frustration, it is all recorded, all acknowledged. So if your heart is still holding on to these feelings despite all your prayers, then the question you should be asking is not, why is Allah not answering? But rather, why is Allah keeping this dua unfinished? Sometimes the test is not in losing the feelings, but in learning to live with them without them controlling you. Think of the story of Yusuf, upon him be peace. His father Yaqub, upon him peace, loved him deeply. When Yusuf was taken from him, Yaqub cried so much that he lost his eyesight. Yet he never lost his trust in Allah. He never said, "Ya Allah, remove my love for my son." Instead, he said, "I only complain of my suffering and my grief to Allah." Surah Yusuf 12:86. His love for his son remained, but he surrendered it to Allah. He understood that just because something is painful doesn't mean it has to break you. Sometimes you are meant to carry the pain, not be consumed by it. This is where many people misunderstand the nature of dua. We assume that when we ask Allah for something, the answer must come in the form of removal, that if we feel heartache, the pain must disappear. If we feel attachment, the feelings must be erased. But Allah does not always remove the test. Sometimes He strengthens you to endure it. Your dua is not being rejected. it is being reshaped into something greater. Imagine someone asking Allah, "Ya Allah, make me patient," and then getting frustrated when their life becomes more difficult. But how else will patience grow if not through struggle? How else will strength be built if not through hardship? Similarly, when you ask Allah to remove your feelings, perhaps He is not removing them because He wants you to rise above them. To learn that love is not about possession, to understand that true control is not in erasing emotions, but in mastering them. This is a spiritual battle, one that many people lose because they mistake their feelings for their faith. They think that just because their heart still aches, it means they are weak. But the truth is, strength is not measured by the absence of struggle. Strength is when you can feel something deeply, yet still obey Allah, despite those feelings. Think about it. Would your love for Allah even be tested if things were easy? Would your submission to Him mean as much if you never had to choose between your emotions and His commands? Sometimes, the delay in your dua is an opportunity to prove your sincerity. If Allah had removed these feelings instantly, would you have turned to Him this much? Would you have spent this many nights in dua, this many hours seeking His wisdom, this much time searching for answers in the Quran? Maybe the reason your dua is still unanswered is because this test is bringing you closer to Allah in ways you never expected. But what should you do when your heart still refuses to let go? How do you move forward when the feelings remain? The answer is not to stop making dua. The answer is to change how you make dua. Instead of saying, "Ya Allah, remove these feelings," start saying, "Ya Allah, let me love in a way that pleases you. Ya Allah, if this love is not meant for me, then detach my heart from it and replace it with something better. Ya Allah, do not let my emotions become my weakness. Turn them into my strength." This is how you pass the test of an unfinished dua. You don't stop asking, you don't give up hope, but you trust that if Allah is delaying the answer, it is only because He is preparing something better. And one day, when you least expect it, you will wake up and realize that the feelings that once consumed you no longer have power over you, not because they suddenly disappeared, but because Allah transformed your heart into something stronger. And you will finally understand why He kept your dua unfinished for so long. Lesson 5. The greatest love story is the one between you and Allah. There comes a time in every person's life when they long for a love so deep, so pure, that it fills every emptiness inside them. Some search for it in people, hoping to find someone who will understand them completely, who will never leave, never betray, never make them feel alone. But no matter how much love they receive, something always feels incomplete. Something always feels temporary. And that's because the love they are searching for, the one that brings true peace, true security, and true fulfillment, can never come from another human being. It can only come from Allah. We were created with a fitra, a natural disposition that longs for something eternal, something that never fades. But instead of turning to Allah, we often get lost in dunya, chasing people, relationships, and attachments that we think will complete us. We fall for the illusion that if we just find the right person, if they love us enough, if they stay, then we will finally feel whole. But no human can carry the weight of that expectation. People change, they leave, they disappoint. Even the most loyal ones cannot stay with us forever because life itself is temporary. But Allah never leaves. There is a reason why, no matter how much love you receive from people, your heart still feels a void. It's because your soul was never designed to be filled by creation. It was designed to be filled by the Creator. Look at how Allah describes His closeness in the Quran. "And we have already created man, and know what his soul whispers to him. and we are closer to him than his jugular vein. Surah Kaf 50:16. Your jugular vein is what keeps you alive. It is the closest, most essential part of your existence. And Allah is telling you, I am even closer to you than that. Yet, we still chase people. We still crave their validation. We still hold on to attachments, thinking they will give us the security that only Allah can provide. But have you ever noticed what happens when you love someone too much, more than you love Allah? Allah starts to take them away. Maybe they change. Maybe the relationship falls apart. Maybe distance grows between you, no matter how hard you try to hold on, and you wonder, why is this happening? Why is Allah removing them from my life when I love them so much? But what if Allah is not punishing you? What if He is saving you? There is a powerful statement by Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah. When Allah wants good for a person, He removes from their heart the love of what will not benefit them. Sometimes when we love someone more than we love Allah, He takes them away, not to hurt us, but to bring us back to Him. Because the greatest love story is not the one between you and another person. The greatest love story is the one between you and your Creator. Think of the love Allah has for you. Before you even entered this world, He wrote every detail of your life. He created you in the most perfect form, provided for you, protected you, and guided you, even when you forgot Him. Even when you turned away, when you made mistakes, when you chased after people who didn't value you, He never abandoned you. Allah's love is not like human love. Human love is fragile. It comes with expectations, disappointments, conditions. But Allah's love, it is the only love that is constant, the only love that asks for nothing in return except your sincerity. The only love that will never hurt you, never betray you, never walk away. So why do we settle for less? Why do we chase temporary people when we have a Lord who has been waiting for us all along? There is a reason why, when your heart is broken, the only thing that truly heals it is turning back to Allah. When you cry in sujood, when you pour your pain into your du'as, when you let go of the dunya and hold on to Him instead, that is when the healing begins. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, Allah is more loving to His servants than a mother is to her child. Sahih Muslim. Think about that. A mother's love is the most selfless, the most forgiving, the most protective kind of love we can imagine. And yet, Allah loves you more. This is why the greatest love story is not about finding your soulmate in this world. It's about finding your way back to the one who has always loved you before you even knew what love was. But how do you build this love? Just like any relationship, love grows through time, effort, and sincerity. Start by spending time with Allah through salah, through dua, through reading His words in the Quran. Just as you would want constant communication with someone you love, deepen your connection with Allah through daily remembrance. Talk to Him, not just in moments of need, but in moments of gratitude, in moments of silence, in moments when no one else understands what is in your heart. Trust Him. When life takes a turn you don't understand, when people leave, when plans fail, know that Allah is redirecting you to something better. Love for His sake. When you love someone, love them in a way that does not make you forget Allah, because any love that pulls you away from Him is not true love, it is an illusion. And finally, remember that no one can truly complete you except Allah. You were never meant to find completion in another person. You were meant to find peace in your Creator, and through that peace, you will attract the kind of relationships that are built on true sincerity, relationships that help you, not break you. So the next time your heart aches for a love that feels out of reach, remind yourself, I already have the greatest love of all. And when you realize this, when you truly feel Allah's presence in your life, every other love, every other attachment will start to feel small in comparison. Because what could be greater than knowing that the one who created the universe loves you more than anyone ever could? Outro, the ultimate realization. You started this journey thinking that Allah was ignoring your du'as, that He was leaving you to suffer in silence. But now, do you see? He was never ignoring you. He was answering you in a way you didn't expect. He was guiding you, teaching you lessons that would shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and closer to Him. Maybe He didn't remove your feelings because He wanted you to see that love is not about possession, it's about purpose. Maybe He was showing you that what you were searching for in people could only be found in Him. And maybe, just maybe, He was protecting you from a future you couldn't see yet. Because the love that is meant for you will never require you to beg, chase, or suffer in confusion. The love that is meant for you will be easy. It will be filled with peace. It will bring you closer to Allah, not farther. And until that love arrives, Allah is telling you, come back to me. Because no matter how much you love someone in this dunya, no love is greater than the love of the one who never leaves. So trust Him, surrender your heart to Him, and watch how He writes a story for you that is far greater than anything you could have imagined. If this video touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes one reminder is all it takes to finally let go and trust Allah's plan. May Allah heal your heart and replace your pain with something far, far better. Ameen.